Anti-Afro Svengalis, make sure you check out the video that I posted. It gives the details, fact-based, specific details about the criminal convictions of Remix, aka Leave Sector Reject. The criminal convictions are for domestic violence, domestic assault, however you choose to classify it. I'm not going to address any other aspect of that video here. This is a commentary portion. Please check out that video to get clarity that goes along with what I'm going to be saying here. So where is this all coming from? Why now? How come I'm doing this? And that's a legitimate question or legitimate questions. I'm answering those questions. I plan to answer those questions. I received additional requests from people that I rock with behind the scenes, really wanted me to put this video out. Yes, I'm going to put the video out. Here's the video now. What happened? What happened was about 4 months ago, Remix went on this rampage and started targeting, attacking, lying on specific people, me, Rev G, AFW friends, supporters, mentioning very specific people. The initial claim was that Rev G was talking shit about Remix. And let me say something. Let's say that Rev G was talking shit about Remix. Who gives a damn? Does Remix not talk shit about people? But here's the issue. When people requested information about the origins of this claim, a timestamp, a live stream, anything, did not even react to the questions multiple people were asking. And then I realized what was going on. Remix caved under the pressure. Then, shortly thereafter, he starts bringing up all these other issues, making all these claims, specifically lying. And let me tell you this. If Remix is going to get up in these YouTube streets and tell lies on me, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell the truth. The truth is very simple to tell. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. But there was just one problem. There was nothing to react to when Remix went on a rampage initially, because his whole gig was Rev G was talking about him. All the other things he started bringing up made it undoubtedly clear this was some other bullshit that Remix was on. Either way it goes, I was not going to partake in Remix's Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey bullshit. Circus. There was nothing to respond to. Well, what do you know? The situation changed. When Kip went and did the research on Remix's record, I said it before in a recent video, things that were said about Remix's record came from sources that weren't credible, and Remix was answering to the claims. What was there for me to do? Nothing. When the facts were presented, now there is an entirely different ballgame. It provides the opportunity to address the lies that Remix had stated about me, AFW friends and supporters, and the lies that he told about his criminal record. That's the long and short of it. New information was presented and it's relevant. What is never relevant is getting involved with the bunco beef. Bullshit. Like I said, Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey, bullshit, bunco beef. But this is not a bunco beef here. This is very specific information that was obtained that clearly contradicted or made it clear that Remix lied. And again, I'm not going to get into the details because that's covered in the other video. The time, the place, the circumstances under which I will even consider responding to whatever bullshit is out there is my choice. Just like it's Remix's choice. Just like it's everyone's choice. There is no one that holds a privilege that bars anybody from responding to anything that they say. Or if somebody wants to just make up out of whole cloth some bullshit like Remix did, they can do that too. That's what he did. I wasn't going to react to that. I answered a few questions. But what Remix has claimed over the years and what ultimately is fact is undeniable. Being fearful of him, and that's the reason why I didn't say anything or Rev G didn't say anything. That's just another ploy to try to get us to speak about essentially nothing. I pretty much ignored that. I mean, that saying about goes in one ear and out the other, no, it didn't even get inside the first ear. I just tuned it out. I waited. I knew something was going to come of it. That's what always happens when people start shit with others. Nothing has occurred, but they're troublemaking, they're slandering, they're threatening, they're harassing, they're trying to rile other people up behind nothing. It always crashes and burns down on them. There isn't any need for me to do anything. I mean, there's a lot of assumptions that I was so worried that Remix was talking shit about me. If I was so damn worried, I wouldn't be up here posting videos letting people know he lied over the years. He made no bones about identifying people who he said were harmful to children. Just making these statements. Okay, fine, make the statements. But what about Remix? Again, check out the video. If you're going to make the claim about others, be damn ready to address the shit that comes out about you. What did Remix do? What was his reaction? He went on a privacy complaint excursion, wall to wall. There's no law against that. If someone feels that their privacy is being violated, the right thing to do is file a complaint with YouTube. The process certainly reinforced that Remix is a hypocrite. I don't do all that flagging. Again, flag, complain. It's just driving the point home that he was full of crap complaining about people who submit privacy complaints or copyright strikes. Whoever wants to submit copyright and privacy complaints, by all means do it. Why make apologies for it? Why criticize other people for it? So a situation can turn out to be like it is now, showing even more areas where there is rank hypocrisy. Expectations of others are unrelated to expectations of self. I'll do whatever I want to do, but I'm going to impose all of my will, all of my conditions, all my expectations on others. Which brings me to the other element of this bizarre scenario, that there was some sort of expectation that I respond in a certain way. I am who I am. I respond to situations according to the circumstances. What I do not do is replicate responses because Remix or whoever else was expecting me to. Dumpsy D. Durrell, you see Carrie Ann, you see Nikki Proctor Walden. I'm quite sure Remix was expecting that I act like one of these subjects or all of these subjects when he started going rage ham on people for no reason. What Remix did obviously was designed to generate some shock, some surprise, some anticipation. There was going to be high drama behind him being who he is, low down and dirty. Obviously, doing this whole gig for shock value and having expectations that I or whoever else he was attacking react in a certain way, or I just can't wait to see how they're going to react. Well, I react to things based on whether or not it's necessary for me to react to it. That's a standard that I apply to myself. It has nothing to do with what Remix is expecting. The whole thing just ends up being Remix and his anger over who is interacting with who. This insistence that he be able to dictate or complain or address or be justified in speaking on who speaks to who is quite odd given the fact that Remix is fanatic over this claim that people are trying to control him and control his channel and control his content. Very interesting indeed. He demanded money from several subjects to do a live stream on me. It wasn't just Nikki Proctor Walden and didn't do it. Then he cries about, you're trying to control my channel. It's just another way of confirming that he was on the take. Same thing, present day. I have all these receipts on AAS and AFW. Give me money. It's just bum ass bullshit. I was not about to jump in and address this issue extensively because there was no reason at the time. I can't emphasize that enough. Then there became a reason, there became an opportunity that I was not going to pass up. Being able to speak the truth, backed up with facts and documentation, which is not what Remix did. And again, do what you want to do. And I'm going to do what I'm going to do. It's not going to be about he's going to do what he does and I'm going to shut up because he doesn't like the fact that I'm going to say something or what I'll say. I don't give a damn what Remix has to say and what he thinks. He was talking to who behind the scenes? Once again, the irony is undeniable. Having fits of rage, getting angry, saying people are trying to control him when in fact he's the one trying to control other people. And when things do not meet his expectation, he goes on the rampage. Let me drive home one definition of abuse. There are many. That would represent when someone believes they feel they can, and they do, say and do whatever they want, whenever they want. There's no restraint. There is no concern. They assume a privilege that they were able to do just that, and they do it. Then there's an expectation of others based on how they feel you should be responding to them and what you should be doing. They're taking all of these liberties, crossing all these boundaries, making all of these claims, making all these demands. But they believe they have control over how you're going to respond. Now, if I agree to that, that means I'm willingly engaging in an abusive situation. One has to be willing to participate in a process where you disregard your own dignity and self-respect. Remix will go about saying whatever he wants, whenever he wants, to whoever he wants, and going wherever he wants. No problem. I don't give a damn. Go wherever you want. Say what you want. Do what you want. But the problem comes in when Remix expects no response. When Remix expects people to just accept what he does. If you agree to go along with that, then you're agreeing to be involved in an abusive process. What is that old saying? I mean, if you're dishing it out, be prepared to take it. If you can't take it, that's your problem. I'm going to respond to what I respond to according to my standards, my expectations, my timeline, my feelings of necessity. I'm not going to disregard self because somebody's going to get upset. I'm not going to disregard self because Remix doesn't like it. There isn't a concern about what Remix likes or doesn't like. There was nothing to respond to initially. Now there is. So I'm speaking on it. I'm going to continue to speak on whatever I decide I want to speak on. It doesn't make any difference how angry, how loud, how abusive, how slanderous, how threatening Remix gets. If I decide to react to something, respond to something that Remix is saying about me or whoever, I'm going to do it. And this is just one opportunity that I'm taking to demonstrate that. I don't have to jump up and respond to every little thing Remix says because he's seeking a reaction. But this is a reaction I was not going to let slide by because of the information that was brought to my attention. It's of no consequence how Remix feels about anything, just like it's of no consequence when it comes to his concern about how others feel. There is no concern, there's just an act. Don't forget, you can put on an act to try to get what you want. To a certain extent, you can draw people in, but eventually the truth is going to be revealed. Just what happened in this instance. Unlike some subjects, they'll go on someone's page and don't give a shit that there is a host on the page. I go to someone's page, I treat the person with decency and respect. Once the situation arises when there's no longer garden variety decency or respect extended to me, that's it. There is no big riddle, no big argument, no mystery, nothing to solve. It's a simple equation. It's just going to depend on whether or not what the subject is saying is worth my time addressing. It wasn't then, it is now. With new information, and I'm sure much more you will be learning about the circumstances surrounding Remix's criminal record. Just like he wanted to make sure everybody knew information about other people's circumstances that came to light. It is no different with him. What is the reason he's due any sort of protection? And claiming that he protected us. Protected us from what? I've never asked Remix or anybody else to defend me, to stick up for me. I can defend myself. Now, don't get me wrong. If somebody decided that they wanted to extend compliments, they wanted to bestow appreciation, they wanted to make comments about me that were favorable, thank you very much. I'll accept those. But that doesn't mean when they decide they want to be a backstabber, an ingrate, show that they're a liar, that I owe them any sort of silence. I don't owe them anything. I don't owe Remix a damn thing. Remix proved to be just how he's always been in so many other circumstances. What happened, happened. That's Remix's choice. He decided to do that. And I decided to do what I'm going to do. That is my decision, just like it was Remix's decision. And it's my decision to make sure you know I got more coming your way. In the meantime, buyer beware.